But having said that, this video will largely refrain from taking all that into account. In other words, my reasoning behind Messi's next move will be solely football based. And when basing it solely on football, Messi's best decision this summer would be a move to... So ever since he was booed, again following a Champions League exit by the PSG Ultras, the speculation around Messis' future has heightened even more. And yes, given that not only is his current contract up in the summer, but he's also most likely looking at the final move of his career, at this point it's practically La Pulga's prerogative to perhaps purely prioritize his personal plans and possibly plump for pursuing projects past the peripheries of Paris if he prefers. But having said that, this video will largely refrain from taking all that into account. In other words, my reasoning behind Messi's next move will be solely football based. And when basing it solely on football, Messi's best decision this summer would be a move to... nowhere. Nowhere whatsoever. And no, I'm not saying it's best he retires, but rather, it's best if he stays in Paris. Cause simply put, Lionel Messi at this stage of his career is in the perfect predicament. Don't believe me? Well, let's compare this choice to his other realistic options. Now first up we have Al Hilal. No guesses why, but straight up, they're not in Europe. Next choice. Second up we have Inter Miami. Again, no guesses why, but again, not in Europe. And again, next choice. Now then, third up is actually one that hasn't been discussed as much, but a move to his childhood club Newell's Old Boys could potentially be on the card. But honestly though, I do think it's still too early for that. And finally, the big one, a return to Barcelona. Now I won't go into this in too much detail on this video, watch the other one, but basically, no. It just won't work. Because you see, Barcelona under Xavi have actually created a real unit, and after years of gradual decline, again, watch this video, they are finally back on the climb up. And Messi coming back would ultimately lead to other players sacrificing parts of their game. Because let's face it, he's not going to suddenly start tracking back at 36, is he? Which brings me back to my original point. So, not only is he at a Champions League club, but a Champions League club that's by far the #1 side in their country and thus can stat pad in peace. And not only is he at a Champions League club that's by far the #1 side in their country and thus can stat pad in peace, but a Champions League club that's by far the #1 side in their country and thus can stat pad in peace while playing alongside some of the best players in the world. And not only is he at a Champions League club that's by far the #1 side in their country and thus can stat pad in peace while playing alongside some of the best players in the world, but he's at a Champions League club that's by far the #1 side in their country and thus can stat pad in peace while playing alongside some of the best players in the world, where he doesn't even need to track back. Please tell me a better scenario for a 36-year-old at the tail end of his career. And yet, you're going to abandon it because you get booed on occasion? Now, while as a mental health advocate, I do sympathize, as someone who's been watching Real Madrid for so many years now, I say, suck it up, mate. Now I repeat, this is all being said without taking into account any personal issues he or his family may or may not be having. We just never know. But with respect to pure footballing reasons only, for me, Messi should see out at least one more season with the Perusians, and when that's done and dusted, he should return to his boyhood team to not only bring his career full circle, but also receive the fairy tale ending the great man deserves. And that is that. Agree or disagree beats indifference. Once again, don't forget to like, comment and share. Watch that other video. And of course, subscribe. Till next time, you keep rolling.